Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is where it all began. Remember that incredible rally we had? And people came out, and it was like this. It was packed and incredible, and people said, something's going on there, right? That was the beginning, wasn't it? That was the beginning. And if you remember, even though you don't have to vote for me, maybe 4 years we'll take a look, right? But you know what? I said I'm coming back to see you in Alabama, right? And this is our last rally, our last stop, and I just want to thank the people of Alabama, and I want to start by wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. But I'm here today for one reason, and that is to thank the incredible people that I recognize. So many of you. I have so many friends from Alabama, but to thank the people of Alabama. We are really the people that love this country. We have so many people that love this country all over. I went to a little victory tour, but really they were thank you tours in Pennsylvania, all over. But this is Alabama, and if you don't mind, we're thanking the people of Alabama, and we're thanking the people of the South, because boy, did we do well. Boy, did we do well in the South. So, I don't know if you noticed, I added that on, the people of the South, because I'll tell you, in fact, I said if I lost, I think I'm going to move to Alabama or someplace in the South, because we won. We didn't win like okay here. We won at a record setting. Nobody's ever had the numbers that we had. So I just want to thank you. This is our last stop, and I'll tell you what, there is no better place to celebrate than right here. Okay? So thank you. You propelled to victory a grassroots movement, the likes of which the world, frankly, has never seen before. And you know, if I was saying something that was slightly off, these very dishonest people up here, they'd be correcting. They'd be correcting us, right? They'd be correcting us. And because of the weather, by the way, the buses are still pouring in, so I think we shouldn't wait. Do you agree? So they're coming in, and we're just going to wait. You'll explain to them as they walk in, we're having a great time, right? But the incredible patriots of this stadium today defied the pundits, defied the pollsters, and the special interests, and delivered a historic win for the American worker and for the American people, totally. I want to thank so many great people, but having Franklin Graham, who was so instrumental, I tell you, we won so big with evangelical Christians. We won so big. Where is Franklin? He's around. He's right there. What a great, there he is. Look at him. He worked so hard. Thank you, Franklin. Anybody that has anything to do with the great Billy Graham, I love, and that's the son, and that son is great. So thank you. And Billy is doing well. Well, I mean, he's 98 years old, but he's doing well. I also want to give a very special thank you to the men and women of the United States military. Incredible. Incredible. Because not only did we win with evangelicals by massive numbers, not by like 2 points, like by many, many, many points, but we won with the military and we won with law enforcement, big league. So we are in your debt, and we will never, ever let you down. We will honor your service and sacrifice that begins with restoring respect for the American flag, right? The American flag. which has been taking abuse lately. And I can only speak for myself, but I don't like it, okay? I don't like it. And we're going to finally take care of our great veterans. And that's another group. So amazing. So amazing, the veterans. And we're going to be naming somebody very, very soon to head up the VA. And we're going to get it taken care of, folks. We're going to get, it's time. It's time. People that come into the country illegally, people that come into the country and cause problems, they're taken care of better than our vets in many cases. So, yeah. Time to take care of our vets. Do not worry. We are going to build the wall, okay? Don't worry. Don't even think about it. We're also going to rebuild our badly depleted military. We have the greatest people on earth. Our military is depleted. But we will be smart with how we spend our money. We're not going to spend $4.2 billion on Air Force One. Is that okay? I mean, we all like beautiful aircraft, but Boeing is going to do a much less expensive job than that. They ordered a new plane. They're in the process. And I said, how are you doing? Well, there's massive cost overruns. I said, no, there's not. There's not going to be cost overruns. So you're going to see it. We got in sort of toward the end, but that's okay. We got in time. We got in time. But no $4.2 billion airplane. America will be a strong nation again. But we will also be a fair and just nation. There is a very, very special guest, okay? And I want to bring that guest on stage in a moment. He is someone who cares deeply about justice, who believes all people are equal in the eyes of the law. He is a great, great man. He's an Alabama native. He could have run for the rest of his life. Nobody even wants to run against him. He spent 15 years as a federal prosecutor, served as the Alabama State Attorney General, and represented you in the United States Senate for 20 years, including 20 years on the Judiciary Committee. And people don't even know, because we think of him as a senator. He was a great, great, legendary prosecutor. A lot of people forgot that. He appeared right here at this stadium 16 months ago and put on a Make America Great Again hat. He was the first senator to endorse me, and really the first major endorsement I had. And he never endorsed a presidential candidate, and very few candidates before. But he saw what I had to say, and he saw the response from the people of Alabama. He's someone I'm very proud to call a friend, and a man I've chosen to be. And by the way, this is a great honor for the state of Alabama. Remember that. To be the next Attorney General of the United States, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions. Come on up, Jeff. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. President-elect. What a great honor it is to have you back in my hometown, Mobile, Alabama. I do remember that event 16 months ago. How many of you were here on that day? Woo! It was an eye-opening event for the entire world and certainly the United States political establishment. I don't think there's any doubt that for your effort and your campaign, Mobile played a historic role in that momentum that built. There's just no doubt about it. That's, I think, where people begin to see that this was more than a normal campaign, but a movement. And I think the American people have spoken in so many ways in this election. Thank you for the honor you've given me, the opportunity to perhaps have a different role in my life. That would occur. I would give my honest and best effort every single day to make you proud, the American people proud, to serve everybody with equality and justice. But I want to tell you, this country needs hope. They believe that you have the ability to lead us in a new way. I think they're encouraged by the new and fresh cabinet you're assembling, putting people in there that have determination and dedication. I want to say thank you to Mayor Stimpson and his team and the city, to the county and all those who've helped make this possible now and last time. It's been a great thing there. So, Mr. President-elect, thank you so much for the opportunity to work with you, the opportunity to see you develop as a candidate, the opportunity to participate in a movement that I believe can help make America great again. God bless you.
He's an amazing man. Jeff is an amazing man, and working with him, I know we will make these incredible strides that our country has to make in restoring safety and justice for all of our people. And again, Alabama, I know, because I get so many letters from the people of Alabama and every other form of communication, including tweets. And they are so proud. They are so proud of him. And we're proud of him. So thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Fantastic. So great. You know, Jeff talked a little bit about the election and his endorsement, and I think if you want me to discuss that evening one more time? Because this will be it. Should I? Yes or no? Because I could give you a beautiful, rhetorical, flowing speech, and we can all fall asleep together, right? Or we can discuss it. And this is our last stop, as I said. And I'm really here because I promised you during that wild day that we had in August, a long time ago, seems like a long time ago. And just a lot of things came out of that day. It opened up the eyes of the media, even the media that dislikes us all. It opened up their eyes. And it began, to a certain extent here, it began on June 16th. Remember the escalator, coming down the escalator with Melania. And I talked about crime, I talked about borders, and I talked about trade. Nothing much changed. We just got more severe, and frankly, things got worse. Things got worse, and it made more and more of an impact. So when I announced, we had a big primary. We had a total of 17 people, and I remember they did a report one time, and it was interesting, but they did a report, and it was about 3 or 4 months into the campaign, and they said, Trump has 4 months of experience doing this, and my opponents had 236 years. Right? All right. Right? It's 236. In other words, you add up 25 years and 30 years and 20 years, and it's going to start to pour. I will stay out here. To hell with the suit, right? I didn't know it rained in Alabama. But, you know, rain is good luck, right? Rain is good luck. So, and I never liked this suit anyway, so we'll throw it away after. But it was really an amazing thing. So we did that, and we got into the general, and we all know what happened to the primaries. And they say they were the meanest primaries in the history of elections in this country. And they were mean. They were nasty. And I generally got good support. Ben Carson and Chris Christie and a lot of other people supported. Ultimately, most of them came around. A few didn't. A few came around right after the election, but, you know, that's not quite the same thing. But we started off, and it was amazing because that evening we were set up incorrectly by the media. They all said that Texas was in play. They said Georgia was in play. They said Utah was in play. And they weren't in play. And I never thought they were in play. He shouts out, liars. Only in Alabama can we do that. Liars. But what happened is we tend to believe the media. You know, we believed Walter Cronkite years ago, right? This is not Walter Cronkite anymore, folks. This is not the great Walter Cronkite. So we tend to believe him. And yet I'd go out and have crowds like this. You had to see the crowd we had in Pennsylvania, the crowd we had in Ohio and Iowa. Always a massive crowd. And even after the election, this is just a thank you from me to you and the folks. But to have crowds. We had a crowd last night that the manager said was 30,000 people. And I read the Palm Beach Post tomorrow, and, you know, the one that just came out. And there was a line in the second paragraph. Now, it was one of the biggest crowds that I've seen. You couldn't even see the end of it. It was a field. It was actually a field. Last night, Orlando. It was incredible. And I read the Palm Beach Post today. It said, Donald Trump spoke before hundreds of people. I said, right? Very dishonest. Very, very dishonest, but that's okay. Hundreds of people is not 25 or 30,000 people. Do we agree with that? But they know. They know what they're doing. They all know what they're doing, but I guess it didn't work because we're here together, folks, right? The movement. But we've been hearing, and I've been hearing that Texas, and I go to Texas, it would have these massive crowds. We had one crowd in Texas that filled up a stadium. The line was so long, and those are the people that didn't get in. The line was like 30 blocks long. It went all the way back to a highway in Houston. And I said, how are we losing Texas, or how are we tied in Texas? Anyway, but they said Texas is in play. That means we're doing badly, right? Because we're supposed to win as Republicans and Georgia. And as soon as the polls open, they go, breaking news. Donald Trump wins the state of Texas, right? Donald Trump wins. This is like immediately. We win Georgia. We won Utah. And did you see my competition in Utah? This guy came out of nowhere. I mean, my wife said, trust me, he's not doing well. But they had him even with me, and they had me maybe not winning Utah. And by the way, as soon as the real polls came out, we won it in a massive landslide. And that guy, I don't know what he was trying to prove. All we're going to do is lose the United States Supreme Court, potentially. Okay, so let's assume the race was closer, because we won by a lot. It wasn't even close. But let's assume we needed Utah, which frankly we thought we needed. We really thought we needed Utah. And let's assume we didn't win Utah. So what does he gain? You know what he gains? I won't say the name of a magazine guy who worked so hard. So many of these people misread us for 2 years. They misread us, and they're still misreading us. And I love it. I love it. They are still misreading us. So we won them. But then Ohio came in, and we were almost 10 points up in Ohio. We were 10 points, more than 10 points up in Iowa. And Iowa, you never win like that, the Republicans, certainly. And so we won them by big numbers. And then we came down to Florida, and Florida was even. Florida was even that whole night, the big